New on Curiosity Stream. How do you connect a 16th century potato to limitless energy production? Could Napoleon's toothpick have a direct link to a machine that predicts the future? And how can a 1700s conch shell chart a course to humans connecting their brains to the internet? James Burke's visionary series Connections returns for a new generation. Experience all new Connections. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibis, happy Monday to you. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm busy watching the George Wagner, the fourth trial, making notes on the best parts of testimony. They're finishing up the crime scenes today, and I think we're going to start getting into how they plan this, which is going to be fascinating. So first off, out of the gate, obviously you see the title of this, which is Patreon Perks. So I want to reassure every listener that's been with us from the beginning or whether you're new, I'm never going to charge for episodes. Content is always going to be free. But I've had a lot of people reach out to me over the last month and a half, especially wanting some ad-free options of the podcast, as well as some perks. And apparently a lot of people who follow true crime are members of all these different Patreons. And I've always just been super hesitant to do it. But I think it's fair because we normally... the way that I'm able to do what I do is with advertising. So having those ads at the beginning and the end and the spoken ones in the middle is how I'm able to do this all day. And I'm grateful to do it because I love what I do. But at the same time, if you're like me, I hate ads on podcasts. I get it 100%. So I've had so many people reach out and say, look, would you please start a Patreon where I can have an ad-free version of your podcast? And so that's what I'm doing right now. And then I talked to several people just back and forth about perks of different levels of what they would want to see. So here's what I've come up with, and I hope this works for you guys. Again, if you don't do this, you're not going to miss out on anything. It's business as usual, as if it's always been. So there are going to be 3 different levels. If you do Patreon for other podcasts, you know this is kind of how it goes. So the $5 per month is going to be ad-free episodes, whether it's the video or just the audio version, and a monthly live chat. And we're going to have a private community on Discord to talk about cases. If you don't subscribe to Patreon, we still do the same thing on Facebook. And also you'll get 10% all merch and then a Patreon shout out. So the second tier is going to be all of that, with a live chat every 2 weeks and then a monthly live stream, as well as 15% off all merchandise all the time. Then for the top tier, which is $25 a month, it's going to be everything I just said, including a free logo t-shirt. So you'll have to, once we get all this set up, I'll have to figure out how to get your sizes and your addresses to get those sent to you. And then 20% off all merchandise all the time, as well as a weekly live chat, and then a weekly live stream. So for those of you wondering about live streams for people who aren't on Patreon, I am actually going to start doing a live monthly. I'm just a little nervous about doing it by myself, but it's kind of time to jump back in there. So I just wanted to find a compromise for people who want this stuff, and they said it would really make a difference to how they enjoy the podcast. And so, yeah, I think, maybe this is the way to go. I'm still setting it up. I'm really not sure when I'll have this launched officially, but I'm hoping in the next day or two. It's kind of self-explanatory setting it up. I've got to figure out how to get the episodes ad-free to the Patreon members, but that's kind of where this is right now. And so I've been super hesitant to do it because I don't want anybody to feel like they're missing out. So we'll still have the monthly live streams for people who don't join. There's just a few little perks in there for people who wanted them. And I think I'm one of the few that hasn't had a Patreon yet. So a lot of listeners are used to it and enjoy those benefits. So there we go. That's it. And for those of you who do join, I appreciate it. And for those of you who don't, I understand. It's not going to change. Not one thing's going to change. So just keep an eye out for an announcement that it's live. I'll put a link out and we'll go from there. So I just wanted to kind of let you know what I'm up to today in between testimony and lunch breaks and everything else, trying to get this set up. And it should be fun. And so anyways, yeah. All right. We'll see you soon, guys.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.